as we move forward through the rest of the season and head into the offseason, here's the truth of the matter. We do not know what Jimmy Haslam is really thinking. We don't know what the ownership group is really thinking. What we do know is that he told us back at the owners' meetings that he wasn't going to really necessarily hold Kevin Stefanski or Andrew Berry's feet to the fire this season when they knew that their quarterback situation with Deshaun Watson did not work out and that they were going to be trying out these two young quarterbacks in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And this was not a year that they were expected to contend for maybe the playoffs, but certainly not the Super Bowl. So I don't know if Jimmy is going to be able to keep that continuity and the alignment that he values so much. I think some of it will depend on how this team finishes out the season. I think you want to see smart, tough, accountable football. I don't think they played that way on Sunday. I think those gaps at the end of the game were inexcusable.
The Cleveland Browns just dropped a gut-wrenching 27-20 loss to the New York Jets. Another Sunday full of frustration. Another week of unanswered questions. And yet, somehow, head coach Kevin Stefanski managed to stir up even more controversy, not because of what he said, but because of what he didn't say. When reporters asked about Shedeur Sanders, Stefanski wouldn't even mention his name. Not once. He brushed it off, said he didn't want to speculate. Speculate? About your own rookie quarterback? That's not strategy. That's silence screaming louder than any statement. And that's exactly why everyone's talking. Because this wasn't just a normal post-game presser. This was a message. A message to the locker room. A message to the media. And maybe, just maybe, a message to Shedeur himself. You can lose a game. You can even lose a season. But when you lose trust, especially in your locker room, that's when everything starts to fall apart. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Mary Kay Cabot, one of the most respected voices in Cleveland sports, sat down and broke it all down. She painted a picture that feels more like a storm brewing behind the scenes than just another tough loss on the field. Because what we're seeing right now in Cleveland, it's not just about football. It's about control, about power, about who this franchise really believes in when the pressure's on. She talked about the chaos that's quietly built up around this team. First, Paul DePodesta walks out, the Browns analytics mastermind, off to the Colorado Rockies. Then Andrew Berry, the general manager, suddenly goes quiet during the bye week. And now, Kevin Stefanski, the face of the franchise, is dodging questions about his quarterbacks. This isn't alignment. This is uncertainty wearing a calm face. Mary Kay said it clearly, nobody really knows what Jimmy Haslam, the Browns owner, is thinking right now. Not the fans. Not the players. Maybe not even Stefanski himself. At the owners' meetings earlier this year, Haslam said he wasn't going to hold Stefanski or Berry's feet to the fire this season because he knew the quarterback room was chaos. Deshaun Watson's shoulder didn't heal right. The season wasn't about competing for a Super Bowl. It was about evaluating the future, figuring out if these two young quarterbacks, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, could be that future. But here we are, halfway through that process, and one of them is being treated like a ghost. When your head coach refuses to even say your name, it stops being about competition, it becomes about politics. So now the question every Browns fan is asking, is Shedeur Sanders being iced out? Because let's be honest, Dillon Gabriel didn't play great against the Jets. He was sacked 6 times. He made mistakes. He looked rattled. But he also didn't have much help. His offensive line was collapsing, his receivers weren't separating, and his coordinator, Tommy Rees, was calling a game like it was a preseason scrimmage. Still, even with all of that, Stefanski doubled down. He told the media Gabriel is his guy. He's sticking with him. No hesitation. No mention of Shedeur. And that's the part that's starting to rub people the wrong way. Because what does that say to Shedeur Sanders, a guy who's been patient, who's been learning, who's been waiting for his shot?
Mary Kay, who do you think is the most talented quarterback on the roster?
Right now, the most talented quarterback on the roster. Well, I don't know if you can throw Deshaun Watson into that mix right now.
Yeah,
because
you can throw him in, yeah.
Okay, if I throw him in there, I would say that he's probably the most talented quarterback on the roster right now, just by virtue of the fact that he's made 3 Pro Bowls, and most of the other guys are either rookies or very young players. I mean, so I would have to say that, we haven't seen Deshaun Watson since the second Achilles surgery that he had in January, but just in terms of his overall skill set, his experience, and his Pro Bowl pedigree, I would have to say Deshaun.
So you think they open up his window to see him soon?
Although Kevin, the way you answered that question didn't make it seem like he was not going to see him.
Well, I wrote a story this morning. I posted it probably a couple of hours ago that they're not opening the practice window this week.
Then came the part that really hit home, when Mary Kay was asked about that press conference moment. When Stefanski refused to talk about Shedeur Sanders. She said it plain, the only way Shedeur plays is if Dillon Gabriel gets hurt, or if Jimmy Haslam forces Stefanski's hand. Read that again. Not if Shedeur earns it. Not if the game plan changes. If Gabriel gets hurt, or ownership forces it. That's not a competition. That's a lockout. And if you're Shedeur Sanders, sitting on that sideline, watching all this unfold, that's not just frustrating. That's personal. Mary Kay said the Browns just want to give Gabriel a good long look. They want to develop him, see what they have. Sure, that makes sense on paper. He was a third-round pick. But let's not forget, Shedeur Sanders wasn't brought in just to watch. He was brought in to change things. To bring energy, swagger, a fresh identity. So why isn't that even being considered? Shedeur's time at Colorado showed he can handle pressure. He's been under brighter lights than most rookies ever see. And yet, Cleveland's treating him like a project, not a player. Be real with me, Browns fans. If you're in that locker room right now, do you still believe Kevin Stefanski has this team's trust? Or is that starting to slip? Mary Kay went even further. She said Gabriel's shown some promise in Tommy Rees' offense. A few flashes, some movement, a little chemistry. But she admitted the offense still looks uneven. And when you look at this game in context, that's putting it lightly. Gabriel was under siege. 6 sacks. Multiple turnovers. And yet, the defense, the one thing Cleveland could rely on, completely broke down. 2 special teams touchdowns allowed. 2 defensive penalties on the Jets' final drive that robbed Gabriel of a final chance. If those flags don't happen, Gabriel might have had the ball back with under 2 minutes left, 2 timeouts, and a chance to redeem himself. And Mary Kay's right, we might be talking about him differently if that happened. But the problem is, it didn't. The Browns lost. And when you're 4-7, almost doesn't save your job. The NFL doesn't pay you for potential, it pays you for production. And here's where things get even messy. Because as if the Gabriel versus Shedeur storyline wasn't already chaotic enough, there's still Deshaun Watson. The man the Browns once believed would save their franchise. The same man who hasn't thrown a pass since his second Achilles surgery back in January. When Mary Kay Cabot was asked about who the most talented quarterback on this roster really is, she didn't hesitate. It's still Deshaun Watson. 3-time Pro Bowler. Veteran experience. All the natural skill in the world. But the catch? No one knows if his body can handle it anymore. And you could feel it when she said it, the doubt, the hesitation. It's like everyone in that organization is walking on eggshells whenever his name comes up. Deshaun Watson has become Cleveland's ghost, always there, always watching, but never on the field. Now think about that for a second. You've got Kevin Stefanski dodging questions about Shedeur Sanders, you've got Deshaun Watson's return wrapped in total secrecy, and you've got Dillon Gabriel, a third-round rookie, thrown into the fire while the team crumbles around him. This isn't a quarterback room. This is a circus. Mary Kay said the Browns aren't opening Watson's practice window this week, but she thinks it'll happen soon. Maybe in the next few weeks. Maybe even before the end of the season. But here's the twist. If Watson gets activated before Shedeur ever touches the field, oh, it's going to explode. Because that's not just another roster move, that's a message. A message that Shedeur Sanders was never really part of the plan. So let me ask you this, Gridiron family. If Deshaun gets cleared and Shedeur still doesn't play, is this team protecting their $230 million investment, or are they burying their future? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Mary Kay even said it herself. The team keeps everything about Watson close to the vest. And then she dropped a line that hit hard. It's almost like he's the one who shall not be named half the time. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly how Kevin Stefanski just treated Shedeur Sanders in that press conference. 2 quarterbacks. 2 ghosts. Point 1 head coach who refuses to talk about either. The silence in Cleveland isn't coincidence, it's calculated. And it's starting to eat this franchise alive. Let's not forget, this team was supposed to be built for toughness, accountability, and culture. Stefanski preaches it every week. Smart, tough, accountable football. But what are we seeing? Confusion, favoritism, and hesitation. The defense looks exhausted. The offense looks disjointed. The front office is missing in action. And when you ask who's really leading this team, nobody can give you a straight answer. That's not Cleveland Browns football. That's chaos disguised as patience. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is stuck right in the middle of it. A young quarterback with swagger, confidence, and raw talent, sitting in silence while the same people who drafted him pretend he's invisible. You don't ignore that kind of talent, unless you're scared of what it might prove. Because here's the truth, Shedeur isn't just another backup. He's not some camp arm or scout team body. He's the guy who turned Colorado football into a phenomenon. He's the son of Dillon Sanders, prime time, a man who built a brand on proving people wrong. And right now, that family is watching this unfold. You think Shedeur doesn't hear the whispers? You think Dillon doesn't notice that his son's being ignored while the Browns crumble week after week? Trust me, they see it all. Be honest. Do you think Shedeur should demand a trade this offseason if the Browns keep this up? Or should he stay and make them regret doubting him? Now, Mary Kay made another great point, and it's one a lot of people are overlooking. She said that the Browns front office values continuity. Jimmy Haslam doesn't like blowing things up. He believes in patience, in giving people time to work things out. But here's the problem. Patience doesn't fix dysfunction. It just lets it grow. And Cleveland has been patient for decades. Patient with ownership changes. Patient with losing seasons. Patient with quarterbacks who come and go like seasons. But now, they're at a crossroads. Kevin Stefanski's loyalty to Dillon Gabriel might be genuine. Maybe he really believes the kid just needs time. But every week that Shedeur stays sidelined, that belief starts looking more like stubbornness. There's a thin line between confidence and denial, and Stefanski's walking it barefoot. And Mary Kay's comments about Jim Schwartz weren't random either. She called him a great candidate to be a head coach again. She said he's evolved, he's respected, he connects with players. Translation? If Stefanski keeps losing, Schwartz could be the next man up. And if that happens, don't be surprised if Shedeur Sanders' name suddenly reappears in every press conference, every headline, every game plan. Because a new coach means a clean slate, and Shedeur might finally get the shot he's earned. Browns Nation, would you trust Jim Schwartz to take over this team if things fall apart? Or do you think Stefanski still deserves time to prove himself? And that right there is what makes this situation so explosive. You've got a losing team, a coach who refuses to say a player's name, a fan base tired of excuses, and a rookie quarterback whose silence might soon be the loudest sound in Cleveland. So what do you think happens first? Shedeur finally takes the field, or the Browns completely implode from the inside out? Because one of those two things is coming, and it's coming fast. The Browns can keep pretending everything's under control, but when a team stops saying a player's name, that's when you know the writing's already on the wall. So as we head into this week against the Ravens, one thing's clear. This isn't just about who starts at quarterback, it's about who this franchise wants to become. And if Shedeur Sanders' time finally comes, it might just save more than their season, it might save their soul. If you're new here, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story is far from over. We'll be following every twist, every press conference, and every snap from the Browns' quarterback chaos right here on Gridiron Insights, where the game is bigger than the scoreboard. It's about the truth behind the turf.